What we did might feel an evil thing, I know. But if Minsk was not saved from the cult, was used to hurt those who only meant to help him, I think that ending Minsk might have been a way of saving Minsk too. Fine lodgings you have found, my friend. Who is already in negotiations with the guardian spirits of this place. In Baldur's Gate, they are likely to be rat-formed and eager to charge rent. But Boo shall secure safe slumber for all. Now, what do you need of Minsk? Boo is overjoyed with our victory. Another den of evil vanquished, and an old foe defeated. Well, Viconia was a friend for a short time beforehand, but then a foe once more. Yes, Boo, a most wicked witch. The very mention of her name gives him nightmares to this day. Those words are more soothing than the salve Minsk applies to the places the armor chafes. You are a kind and gentle soul. You hear what our friend says, Boo? Viconia is gone for good this time. I am sorry, Boo. I will stop up my clumsy mouth and would tear out my hair if any remained. Boo and Minsk have traveled far and wide, and met many fine and not so fine people. It will surprise you to learn that even the wisest of friends do not always recognize Boo for what he is. Exactly! The Drow was a cruel witch, but a clever one. She knew what Boo was right away, and she had never seen his like before. She wished to inspect his handsome magnificence. And so she did. One night, while he lay asleep, twitching his whiskers in happy dreams, she crept upon his tiny bedroll holding a knife as slim as a toothpick. She meant to spill his miniature guts and study them. Ha! Minsk did not stop her. He did not need to. Boo never sleeps deeply while evil is near. He sprang into action and almost blinded the witch. She had fled from our camp by morning when Boo told me the whole tale over a breakfast of berries and nuts. You come to speak of the last time Minsk stood watch? The snoring, it was Boo. So dark an alliance sealed with Sentish contracts, cultish vows, and a dragon's shining hoard. You think Minsk could forget? You are correct. I have no idea what any of that was about. But we shall simply... Ooh, why do you gnaw at my soft parts? I am trying to... Once again, in smaller words? I see. This truth you seek. Boo believes that Minsk is knowing more than Minsk knows. But it is a difficult thing. There are memories of this time that Minsk does not remember. And Boo suggests that just as he helps with tricksome itches in awkward places, you must reach what Minsk cannot. The parasite. You can use it to tickle free whatever truth you seek. The worm has already whipped me around the city like a slack-backed pony. I have no wish to saddle myself a second time. But if it cannot be Boo who pops inside my skull for a rummage, then I trust you. Or Jahira, but she is currently possessed of an empty head.
At first, there is nothing. His mind is empty as a still expanse of open country. But then... Your face, the Stone Lord's face, mirrored in bloodied steel. In the heat of burning buildings, you hold your blade high above pale, frightened faces.
No, that is not right. I slew only monsters. The voice said that they were monsters.
A whisper. The Absolute's voice, twisting the petty guild thieves before you into snarling, savage beasts, feeding on the weak of your city.
The guild. The Stone Lord hunted them, peeled away their rotten ranks one by one to lay bare their corrupt heart. 9 fingers keen. That is what the Absolute bought Black Zentish Steel to do. To kill the Guildmaster. Until Minsk arrives, the battle has not even begun. Whatever strangeness you believe you saw, there is only one simple truth in Minsk's mind. The cult is evil. The guild is evil. And Minsk fights evil. If you cannot believe his words, then watch his doings. We will foil the Zentish plot, and then we will show 9 fingers the 5 fingers of Minsk. Yes? Yes? Yes. Of course, my friend. Or are we not friends? Then you have a sword at your side and a hamster at hand, whenever you need them. Unless I die, or you die, or you do anything at all to upset Boo. Now, does Boo see a question in your eye, or just a parasite poking through? Well, Boo, explain yourself. Clear enough? Can you not? Do you not see his noble bearing? The deep wells of wisdom that are his eyes? Boo speaks of much. Perhaps one day you will be ready to listen. Boo has a way with words that we lack. All that space in the cheeks, I am thinking. There is more than a little to know, I think. I am huge. Ah, you come in search of stories. It is not yet time to tuck Boo in for the night, but very well. After our adventurings with the Ballspawn, Boo had had his fill of godly flesh. So, we returned to Baldur's Gate for a time. After all, in every city there is a sweaty underbelly, crying out for a virtuous scrubbing. None better to wield a brush than Minsk and Boo. Perhaps we rubbed some villain's rump a little too raw. This Minsk does not know. One moment we stood in the city's slums, the next, ambush. Then Minsk and Boo woke on the wide with stone dust in sensitive places. Aha! Perhaps this is the reason, Boo. It is not because of the legendary thickness of my skull. wish to know the answer to that, ask a statue. For Minsk, those years passed as quick as a hiccup. It was long ago, then it is now. Jahira says Minsk and Bu were often draped in flowers and showered with wine. Still as stone, but the life of the party nonetheless. But there is no glory without action, and no valor without violence. I would rather be as small as Bu, yet made of muscle and rage and virtue, than as large as Minsk, but made of cold stone. Countless tales are told of Bu and Minsk. Many of them are so outlandish that even I do not know if they are true. Did Minsk bravely fend off the seductive wiles of a succubus in the cloisters of Candlekeep? Maybe. Did he take a bath in the river Styx and temporarily forget himself? I do not remember. Did he travel with a spawn of the god of murder, who warred against his evil brethren and battled triumphantly at the throne of Baal itself? Of course! It was a splendid adventure. The bards sing of fallen gods and mighty battles, but that is a small part of any saga. They do not sing of the times in between, when Saravak's butt had been kicked so hard that we thought he would never return. We settled in Baldur's Gate for a while. Orion's Ward, Imoen, Jahira, Minsk, Bu, and Dinah here, my witch. She hated the city at first. Too busy, she said, too noisy, too many people. She complained of the smell, although she complained of Bu's smell too, and he smells of fresh honey cakes, so Minsk believes her nose was confused. Then, one day, we walked past a shop full of wonders. Tiny magics fizzed in the air, and wizards from every corner of the world bickered and bartered. Sorcery sundries. Dinah here fell in love. Dragged poor Minsk there every day, and made him stand watch while she browsed the shelves. Minsk frowned and complained. He felt more like a babysitter than a berserker. But how Dinah here smiled. Not long after, Minsk and Bu were captured, and Dinah here was dead. I would gladly be a babysitter again to see her smile. That is what I remember. More than any battles against Baal and his spawn. Yes, Bu, I know you miss her too. Bu says the tadpole thrives on her misery. To think dark thoughts is only to feed the darkness. It pleases Minsk more to sour its stomach with good thoughts, or better yet, not to think at all. With this in mind, Minsk thinks he has gathered enough fluff from gazing at his navel for the moment, no? Oh, the mind of Minsk is a simple place. Of what strangeness do you speak?
The memories resurface, a lifetime of battles blurring into one. A single constant is Minsk, launching into the fray no matter the foe, be they god, monster, or man. It seems just the barest glimpse of what the man before you has seen and done, but enough to know that he has no right to still be alive.
Ah, wait! That look in your eye. I know exactly what visions of Minsk you have seen to cause you such wonder. My pants, thrice laced in the Rashomar style, so that a berserker might split skulls without fear of splitting bridges too. They are fiendishly complex, but fear not for Minsk. With training, he has learned to master the many little knots. The bard, says Boo, they conspire not to safeguard our trousers, but to rid the world of pants entire. On this matter of sharing memories, I see no reason for us to worry at one another's worms. If there is more we wish to know, we can simply ask, no? Exactly so. If I must peer into the mind of my enemy, I use an axe. For friends, there is ale. No, my friend. If you fear you have a question that Minsk cannot answer, then you can simply ask Boo. As you wish, but quietly. It is listening. On this matter, I have held small counsel with Boo. If the worm is lodged within our skulls, should it not be possible to simply squeeze like so? Until something pops out. Pay that noise no mind. Boo has not feasted on evil's flesh in some time, and it has set his gut to bubbling. None at all. Though Boo is tiny, perhaps he could just crawl into our ears and... You are right, Boo. A ridiculous notion. It would be far too dark to see. Minsk shall be your shadow, as Boo is his.
I think you might have made a terrible, terrible mistake. Huh? Chasing rumor halfway around the city and back. Crossing the guild. Wading through filth. Defying the one creature upon whom your very life depends. All for a madman and his rodent. The absolute threatens thousands, the entire coast. And still you risked much to help one man. I should berate you. But I can only say thank you. Your reasons were your own. But whether you meant for it or not, your fight is our fight, huh? Both of us, to the very end. He's an ass. I can make no promises beyond that. But even so, lead the way. We're yours to command.
So, we can add one bald wall of muscle to our little group. I'm sure he'll come in handy. Maybe as a doorstop.
Minsk seems quite the enthusiastic ally. Would all do well to remain on his good side. And out of the range of his fists.
Minsk just joined our team. This is the best day of my life.
Minsk has great heart. We shall need the likes of him for the trials to come.
Boo seems like a worthy addition to our group. His pet, Minsk, may prove useful also.
Zahira, Boo is trying his best to explain, but I still do not understand your anger.
Do not hide behind your hamster, Ranger. You do not understand because you do not listen. We were the first to discover the cult. And if you had only waited, we might have marshaled our numbers and...
Good does not wait for evil to button up its breeches. When it offers buttocks for the smacking, Minsk and Boo greet cheek with hand. It is well that Boo's innocent ears still ring from all this shouting.
This mess falls on our heads, Minsk. The city under siege. Its people poisoned by the cult. It all might have been avoided if you had just put your feelings aside and listened. You mean the doppelgangers? It is no comfort to me that my face made this fool all the easier to lead. The point remains. You meant well, Minsk. But you exposed the city to harm. You helped the cult spread. And worse, perhaps than any of this, you forced me to leave you behind.
But this is where Minsk falls short of the understanding, Jahira. What else is a berserker for, if not to charge into danger ahead of his Wicklaren?
The Wicklaren, wise women of Rashomon, each bonded to a berserker bodyguard for life. There is no higher title nor deeper bond in all of Rashomon custom.
Wicklaren? Minsk, I am not your witch. You are not my bodyguard. This is not some high lodge of your homeland.
Boo agrees you're a queer kind of witch. But this city is a queer place. And Minsk, you may have noticed, is sometimes strange himself. The titles matter not. Only this. When Minsk does as Minsk does, and charges in to make a mess, Jahira does as Jahira does, and finds a way to save us all anyway.
Oh, I fight alongside fools.
You hear that, Boo? We fight alongside a Wicklaren again.
I am your friend, Ranger. I am not your witch. There will be no ointments or healing balms.
Not even for Boo?
The cub speaks. Not so much a term of age or affection as simple old habit. You object? The cub and the crow. Sounds like a cautionary tale, as it probably should.
A little rest to brush the road from Boo's fur, and then back to our adventuring. Minsk is an open book, with many pretty pictures. We have. Is it not wonderful? There is no need for sweet words between companions such as we. Too often those are the weapons of flatterers and frauds. But she who will beat you about the head with the cold and pointy truth, that is a true Wicklaren. A hero is only as good as the friends they have at their back. This is why Boo favors this spot just above my buttocks. What is it, my friend? Minsk is an open book with many pretty pictures. Oh, my friend, there is much more to know of Minsk's homeland than he could ever put into words. Boo might fare better, but his home is far stranger again. Well, in many ways, it is the very opposite of this city. The far side of Faerun, with empty plains, white forests, and peaks that pierce the very belly of the sky. But it is like the city too. Here, it is loud with the daily wailing of people. In Rashomon, it is also loud, if you know where to listen. The Telthors, guardian spirits of every root, rock, and tree. Here in the sleeping lands they are silent, but in the far north, they know how to speak still. The first time, my Dajema, a warrior's quest of proving, Minsk quickly proved that quests do not always go as the stories say. After wandering a ways and some savings of the Sword Coast, Minsk returned to Rashomon to find a welcome fit for hamsters and heroes. The Iron Lord himself came to bear witness to Boo. Minsk politely disagreed. Dinah here was dead, and so his Dajema could never be done. Then swear your service to me, Minsk of Rashomon, said he. Serve your land as your lord's chosen champion. Minsk politely disagreed. It was a little awkward, but he had already sworn his service to Boo. Minsk of Rashomon, said he. You insult your Iron Lord. We will settle this matter in the circle of combat. It was only polite for Minsk to agree. After they carried the Iron Lord away, the Council of Witches gave Minsk a pack of provisions and said it would be best if he continued his adventures for a time. Yes, Boo, that was before we were stone. Perhaps we are due a little homecoming when all of this is done, no? Because it is slow and stupid and sleeping. Boo says Minsk should phrase this in a kinder fashion. Telthors are the living soul of the land. They flit about, offering petty blessings to those who show respect, or playing tricks on those who do not. This is so in Rashomon, but not beyond her borders. Here the spirits sleep, and perhaps we ought to be glad of this. In Rashomon, a Telthor is wind and snow and soil. In Baldur's Gate, it would be stink and stain and a far less pleasant type of soil. If my meaning is not clear, just check under your boot. The first time, my Dajema, a warrior's quest of proving. Minsk quickly proved that quests do not always go as the stories say. After wandering a ways and some saved the Iron Lord, Minsk politely. Then swear your service to me, Minsk of Rashomon, said he. Serve your land as your lord's chosen champion. Minsk politely disagreed. It was after... Yes, Boo, that was as you wish. Boo, do you have much to say on the matter of something else? Make sure you are refreshed before we set out again, friend. The road to justice is paved with kicked buttocks. Minsk is an open book, with many pretty pictures. Oh, a curious question. Are a child and his father always alike? Take Minsk. He does not have a clear memory of the face of his father, but he does remember tugging on the thick, red whiskers that sprang from his chin. A beard for the ages. Boo could have nested there happily through even the harshest of Rashomon winters. Now, look closely at Minsk, and what do you see? Correct! There are more whiskers on Boo's tiny face than on the mighty chin of Minsk. If Minsk did not inherit the flaming red hair of his mother, or the bushy red beard of his father, why would the spawn of Baal inherit his wickedness? I have many more thoughts about beards to share. I did not know you cared to hear them. You hear that, Boo? Your keen skills of observation have not gone unnoticed. Our friend wishes to consult your wisdom. So small is Boo that he is often mistaken for a pine cone. and many secrets are spoken in his hearing. He will tell what he knows, but Minsk, of course, will translate. Ah, the Great Blade of Frontiers. A fine name. Minsk has no idea what it means, but it suits young Will's air of mystery well. It is good to know the city did not go unprotected while I wore pigeon droppings on the wide. Jahira did her part, of course, but she prefers to scowl from the shadows. This city needs a name, a face, preferably a furry companion, too. Ho, ho, ho! Minsk would need a title to match. Something to wash away the Stone Lord's stain. The boot of backsides, perhaps? Or... Ay, poo! Evocative, but so crude. I will stick to simple Minsk. Indeed, a berserker after my own heart. Though hers is made of hellish heat, and metal, and some manner of coin-operated device. That it does, and all of the questions that Minsk has to ask are of the pointed and painful kind. But for all his betrayings of Karlak, Gortash never for a moment bested her. Karlak remains Karlak. Even if all her parts were traded for tin and scrap, Minsk thinks this would still be so. And soon, Karlak will still be Karlak. But Karlak will also be cured. Pah! She knows. A warrior always knows. After all, do you not see the wicked gleam of wisdom in Minsk and Boo's own eyes? I do not wish to speak of the wizard. I could not have said it better myself. He came to me one night with a little book of mischief, full of words and their meanings. Posterior, he says. Can you say posterior? Pwah, I refused. Minsk does not need to know the language of wizards. It is an inferior word, far too long to use in a battle cry, which is where a butt belongs. Gale would do better to educate himself in the ways of sword and steel than to throw these pointy words at Minsk. Ah, yes. Gale also owns a cat. A cat with wings. That is most unnerving for poor Boo. Never! If he is not careful, Boo will shred his books and use them as bedding. Who is Halsen? Somehow, such a person as you describe has entirely escaped Minsk's notice. How strange. If such a tiny, puny druid man reminds you of Minsk, I think the tadpole may have made a feast of your brain. Pah! Minsk saw the druid chasing himself in circles and sniffing his own butt last night. He has spent too long as a wolf and not enough as a man. No, Boo! The druid did not beat Minsk at the arm wrestling. It was not a fair match, and he turned into an owlbear midway through, and there was grease on the tree stump. Ah, the smell of adventure. In the very heart of the city.
The city's lower intestine, perhaps?
better yet, what swifter way to strike at evil's butt than to crawl through its innards?
What has you sneaking around? Oh.
Minsk does not sneak, Queen Cutpurse. He follows a direct line from boot to butt.
Turning the Zentarim on me with my own coin. A dramatic entrance to land the killing blow yourself. I'll give you this, Stone Lord. You've got style.
Minsk has no such style. We are here to cleanse the Zentish taint, not to rub it all the deeper.
You expect me to believe that you're here to help me?
Helping first and harming after. Justice dines on a set menu, Nine Fingers. And Boo will be having seconds.
Don't let the hamster nibble on anything valuable. We might just get along, Stone Lord. Come then. There are visitors in my guild hall. I'd be a poor host to keep them waiting.
So it's that simple. Drop your weapons, bring out Nine Fingers, and this can all end peacefully. For you, at least. What's this, Stone Lord? It's a little late to change the terms of our deal. The pieces are already in place.
This Stone Lord is no more. Boo and Jahira and my friend would not let me stay cursed. And the only terms we offer are between my boot and your treacherous buttocks.
I see. That's unfortunate. And what about the adult in the room? Whatever I told that lot below, this will end in bloodshed. All you have to do is pick the right side. I'm not. I'm turning on Nine Fingers. This place has been due a change in management for some time. Her guild is disorganized, undisciplined. The cult broke them in a matter of days, while my Zentarim still stands strong. A guild under our control can do what Nine Fingers failed to. Drive the Absolute out of the city once and for all, and then remain on in the city to protect its good citizens from any future threats. For a reasonable fee, of course.
My hamster can smell your lies, villain. Foul not his little nose.
Fine. Let us talk of truth, then. Do your friends know how many you killed in the Absolute's name, Stone Lord? Do you?
Do not call me that. Minsk is Minsk.
Oh? I don't recall any tales of Minsk helping the likes of Nine Fingers. A known thief? A murderer? I thought Minsk of Rashamen served the side of good. I'm the last to judge, big man. You were just following orders. And hey, that's all you have to do now. If you don't know what's right, just let the grown-ups talk. Because I know your friend will make a smart choice.
Your leader is not wrong. The guild is a band of treacherous scoundrels, and Nine Fingers the worst among them. But the Stone Lord, Minsk, was many times worse. I have no right to judge, so it will not be Minsk who does the judging. My hamster will count to 3. Lay down your arms, Zentarim, and Boo will spare your lives.
Truly? I am handing you the guild, and you'd throw it all away on the word of a madman. Think about this. It defies all logic. Oh, enough. Zentarim, to arms!
Don't know what King was thinking, inviting Zentarim in the first place. Like trying to leash a bloody viper.
Didn't think the Zentarim would turn on us so easily. Inatra seemed honest. Gods help me.
Nine Fingers has lanced the Zentish boil on her ass? Good. She can get back to protecting those who pay her for it.
You need to get up early indeed to get one over on Nine Fingers. If she were easily toppled, Uktar would have done it already.
Uktar, I remain Guild Bursar, whoever sits in the big chair. Do we have business?
Uktar, 11th month of the year, more commonly known as the rotting, the time in which all things decay and die.
A gift from Nine Fingers. She has a penchant for literal names, and her cronies ensured it stuck. I need not love to serve. You have a point you wish to make? Then we are wasting one another's time. It is guild business I take seriously, as you ought to. That business is finance. Specifically, the acquisition of vault keys. The wealthy squirrel their riches away in the city's counting house, where it gathers dust, serving no one. I acquire keys and allow these funds to circulate, like lifeblood in a healthy body. Everyone benefits, particularly those who bring me such keys. So, are you wasting my time, or do you seek to benefit? Have you made an acquisition? De Vere. Now, what would a servant of Lady Loss be so keen on keeping safe? Then our business is done, for now.
Kind of you to take the Zentarim down first. That doesn't make us friends. Come on then, Stone Lord. If you mean to take my chair, you'll get no better chance than this.
Minsk has no interest in your furniture, Nine Fingers. Only in the wicked rump that fills it.
What?
You have been a stone in this city's boot for too long. And it will be no Stone Lord who reaches twixt Baldur and sticky toes to dislodge you. It will be Minsk!
I haven't got the slightest idea what he's trying to say. Proof that he is back to normal, no? A bizarre tale. But it fits this idiot somehow. But if he's back to himself... Good. I'd rather you die as Minsk, the mad Rashimar. It's silly, but... Do you know? You were something of a hero of mine when I was young.
Even now, your tongue twists the truth. When you were young and 10-fingered still, Minsk and Boo were stone, instatuated on a city square.
Aye, I remember the spot. By a garden on the wide. A soft thicket near the market with ample pockets to pick. Celestia itself to a street rat looking for shelter. You might not have been wrestling monsters, but you kept the wind and the rain off. Heroic enough for me.
Bah, you tried to dampen Boo's eyes. Do not think you will be spared his teeth. Evil is evil, even if it was once innocent.
Oh, I'm no innocent. But evil? Well, you tell me. With the fist, the watch, and the council itself all licking the Absolute's boots, who's the only one left standing to protect Baldur's Gate? She's right, Minsk. She's been an ally down through the years. A friend, even.
A friend? Jahira, Boo cannot believe his ears. Has the city fallen so far in our absence? Are there no heroes left?
Heroes come and go. But the Guild has always been here, protecting the city. until the Stone Lord came to break us.
I am shamed, Nadeshka, unworthy to fight alongside my friends. Oh, what am I to do?
I can't speak for your rodent, but I know something of debts. If you reckon you've got one to repay, well, we could always work together.
With you? Pff, Minsk has no lust for gold, that he would shake grandmothers by their ankles or set Boo nibbling at their purse strings.
I'm not talking about that. We've both got bigger enemies than one another. The city's enemies. And Tyr's honest truth, you gave my guild the wake-up call it needed. We've grown complacent, lazy, too sure of our standing. We never would have needed the Zent if we'd had a fighting force of our own. Swords for the city when the Watch and the Fist fail us.
Like a berserker lodge of my homeland. No army or militia serving the local lords, but heroes working for the common good.
Heroes? Sure.
Very well. Minsk and Boo accept.
I'm sorry, you what?
Boo and I will be your berserker lodge, taking the ugly ways of your guild and beating them into a more virtuous shape.
That's not even slightly what I was saying. I wasn't asking.
You are right. I have proven myself unworthy. I cannot serve this city if I was so easily turned against it. If I do not know my own mind, perhaps I no longer know what is good. Boo!
Boo.
Boo! Kingpin Boo! My friend, your wisdom is vast and unknowable as the Rashimi High Country. What say you, Boo? When the Absolute is slain, shall we join Nine Fingers Keen and show her the ways of goodness?
You did say he was your hero, Estelle. Maybe you'll learn something. Oh, can't we just go back to killing one another instead? All right, fine. Let's leave this particular fight for when the actual war is won, shall we? With the Stone Lord off my back, I'll be able to bring my people out of hiding. Cobble together a force, so we're ready when you call on us. You have my thanks. Though, I'm still not actually sure you haven't made my life that little bit harder.
Managed to keep out the worst of the fighting. I just need to keep from sobering up.
Hardly the noblest conflict we've encountered, but criminals will have their squabbles, even in the looming shadow of utter annihilation.
I don't like getting caught between the guild and the Zentarim. You always make enemies when you take sides in a struggle like that. And in this case, they're enemies we might not see coming until it's too late.
Minsk is so amazing.
My friend, now we have settled the matter of the guild. I fear there is something I must tell you. You and Boo both. It may shock you both to know, but Minsk and this Stone Lord, they are one man. The same one man. And that same one man is Minsk. Please, my friend, your noble tears will not make the confessing any easier. I wish to believe the Stone Lord's evil was the worm alone, tainting my thoughts with foul dung. But I see now, The dawn was within Minsk all along. So I wonder, if Minsk can be a villain, and Nine Fingers a hero, must it be so with all creatures? Is there good and evil within us all? Boo calls this nonsense. Less thinking of bad thoughts, says he, and more breaking of bad bones. But still, I would hear what you have to say on the matter, my friend. I see. In the case of Nine Fingers, perhaps it was all bunched up in that finger she lost. It shall be for Minsk and Boo to be her virtuous pinky. It is strange. A worm sits within my skull, twisting my thoughts. But it is you that have made Minsk see the world anew. You, my friend, are the true parasite. There is good and evil in all. Let us go crack villainous skulls so that the virtue might leak free. Yes, Boo. I am becoming something of a philosophizer.